gameplay of the Shanghai Dragons here. But the Atlanta Reign, the one thing they do have going for them, one of their biggest positive elements that this team has, is the coaching staff. And I think the coaching staff are going to recognize they know what Shanghai Dragons are going to be running here today. And I feel like they are going to be coming pretty prepared and with a game plan. Now, it is going to take some adjustments. And I think Atlanta Reign, they've struggled during the middle of the matches. When it goes to those map fives, they do struggle to sort of keep a cohesive game plan in mind when they play. They seem to just kind of forget what they really want to be doing to win the game most of the time. I find that that's where they get a lot of their losses. If they can stay focused, they can stay concentrated on what they need to do, and they can follow the coach's game plans, that's going to be the key to victory today.
There you have it. Ding is certainly a potential star for the Shanghai Dragons, and we know that Sinatraa is a certified superstar for the San Francisco Shock. When we come back, we've got an exclusive sit-down with the man himself. This is the Watchpoint Pre-Show presented by State Farm.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
The Houston Outlaws are not the favorite coming into today's match against the San Francisco Shock, but our Stage 2 champs of Shock looked a little shaky against Atlanta in Week 1, and though the Outlaws have lost 8 straight matches, they did give New York a pretty good run for their money last week. Right, Sideshow?
Yeah, they did, actually. I was relatively impressed with Houston because not just because they managed to take them to 5 maps, but because they had a lineup that seemed to make sense, that they were starting to build synergy with, and also showed a lot of variety in what they were playing. They didn't just try and knock their heads against the brick wall of running triple tank, triple support. Here's a look at some hero usage of what they were running this week. So this was just specifically against the NYXL. Now, yes, it is a lot of numbers, but there are a bunch of different heroes here that were played a lot. So you've got your classic GOATS composition, triple tank, triple support heroes are played the most. But then you've still got Mercy, Wrecking Ball, Pharah, Widowmaker up there with, you know, between 15 and 30% playtime. So these guys are spending a lot of their time, significant portions of their time, playing a bunch of different weird compositions. Particularly on Numbani, they were playing a lot of different stuff. I think Eichenwald, they've got opportunities to do it again. So this is Houston coming up with some crafted strategies to be able to take down their opponents. Could throw a spanner in the works for the Shock.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the lineup you just said. They did field a bit more of a solidified lineup. Now we saw Linkster now on that Zarya, and honestly, I did like it. I had a quick chat with Linkster right after the game, and he did say that everything went pretty well in practice. The only thing which really threw them off when they played against New York was Sombra on their side. I mean, we all know that if you're facing off against the Sombra, it can get pretty, you know, chaotic in the comms because everyone is calling out where the Sombra is, etc. And that just gets really, really messy. If you don't really practice much against Sombra goats or in the Sombra in general, then yeah, it might be that that just causes some issues for your teams, and that's what Linkster told me. So they're in luck. Today, they probably won't be facing off against the Sombra, and if they can continue the way they did against New York, I do think they have a good chance to at least get some maps.
Brendan, if you look at the Shock, they were perfect in Stage 2, the golden stage. They didn't drop a single map, but when they played Atlanta here in Week 1 of Stage 3, they dropped 2 going to that Game 5. So why do you think that match was so close?
I mean, it was a scrappy fight, I think, from Shock themselves. But what tends to happen when you end up winning a championship like they did at the end of Stage 2 is you start to get a bit more complacent, you know? You don't really worry too much about taking a perfect stage. Again, the Shock coming into Stage 2, they were fired up after their loss against the Vancouver Titans. They wanted revenge. They wanted to absolutely dominate the competition. Now, they got their win. They got their revenge. And this is one of the most difficult parts of the seasons for a lot of these top teams right now, because you're in this sort of midway point. You've already qualified for playoffs now, and it can be hard, I think, for a lot of them to really just want to go put 100% of the effort in and really want to dominate a lot of their matches like this, which allows, you know, these other teams to kind of take a map win or maybe even a match win away from them.
Winning the Stage 2 title was a milestone for a team that struggled to get wins in our inaugural season. It's a milestone that likely wouldn't have been possible without the Shock star damage dealer and leader, Sinatraa. It was a tough first season for the 19-year-old Washington native, but it seems now the ups and downs may have all been worth it. He just turned 18 on Saturday. He's finally old enough to play in the Overwatch League.
If I had to write a letter to myself the first time I walked on stage, I'd probably say, like, 1, don't let the nerves get to you. I thought I wasn't going to be nervous, but it was, like, obviously really nerve-wracking.
Sinatraa, he wasn't happy with the result yesterday.
Also, don't let, like, comments get to you. I, like, looked at Twitter, Reddit, all this, and then everyone was always, like, talking trash about me.
There he is, the man himself, Mr. 150K.
I mean, I think a lot of it comes from the salary being leaked.
They really believed in this individual as a player who would shine for what was rumored to be one of the highest salaries at the time.
Since I'm the only one that has it leaked, like, everyone thought it was like some like crazy number, like I was the highest paid or something. If I did like one bad play, everyone would just say like worthless, overpaid, all this. I couldn't handle it, honestly. That's why it just down spiraled.
For whatever reason, when push comes to shove, the Shock tend to collapse.
The pressure was pretty crazy, honestly, because everyone was always hyping me up.
He's got 45 limbs, 24 final blows, only 5 deaths. At that point, do what you want.
I actually thought I would just like carry 1v6, so I just did like stupid things in the game. I think maybe it was like all the comments or something. I like just let that get to my head, which just led to me feeding almost.
You got to never underestimate the power of San Francisco Shock to lose a game, I think.
I think after season 1, I've learned to just not let comments get to me, just work on myself as a player and individual.
They committed to Sinatraa early in season 1. They played the long game, and finally it comes true.
The biggest thing I matured in was definitely like playing as a team. I'm known for being toxic, just not a good person, but a good player. So I think it's just working on myself, developing like my personality, and just becoming a better person in general.
There's a lot of pressure and a lot of expectations that are being put on that guy's shoulders.
This year we have more experience than last year. Everyone knows what to expect when you're walking on the stage.
Remember, we can engage, disengage, and then boot them in with that second bubble.
I've become more of a leader, I guess, since season 1. I'm always calming now, which is like crazy to me because I never thought I would.
Play our game and pummel these kids.
Yeah, let's go.
Right our left side, right our left side.
Nice! Let's go! Nice!
This year, I think the pressure is a little different because everyone knows we're good now. So we're expected to make playoffs.
San Francisco Shock absolutely living up to the hype.
A clean 4-0 sweep for the San Francisco Shock.
I think the public sees me now as just a little nicer.
Sinatraa, it's been a long time in the making.
This guy, MVP candidate for sure.
For me, my personal goal is just to be known as a good player in the league. That's all.
Sinatra's tearing it up right now. I mean,
The guy is a phenomenal freak of nature.
Never scared, trash team. I want to always just keep improving until I know I'm the best, and even if I know I'm the best, still grind after that.
Absolutely unreal player. That's why I would have him as my MVP.
One of my favorite stars right there. Sinatraa is definitely improving as a player. He is statistically superior this season in every single category over his 2018 performance. And his numbers for hero damage, average energy, and time to charge his ultimate are all ranked first. So, What has it been like to watch the ascent of such a young star in Sinatraa?
Wonderful, really. I mean, I was just like everyone else. We were a little bit worried. We did hype him up so very much because he wasn't able to play early on and because he was just sitting on a bench, and we were all waiting for him to come onto that stage. There was so much expectations, and then it fell flat. And I felt terrible because we did nothing but hype him up, right? So we all did our part in this. So it was just so wonderful to see him finally, like, you know, warming up, like meshing with the team. And now they're outperforming like no other. So this is just wonderful to see.
I don't know how you can watch that piece and not respect him as well as a competitive now as well. Because that's such a mature outlook that he's got now on himself, on the game itself, just wanting to improve constantly. I mean, mad respect to him as well.
Well, you can't debate whether Sinatraa is one of the league's biggest stars, but when it comes to who the fourth best team in the league is, there's a lot of different opinions out here. We'll debate that and much more next in Attack or Defend. It's the Watchpoint Pre-Show presented by State Farm.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Running into bullets, thrown in there by Linkser. Jake still applying the pressure from on high as well. And this is going to be the Houston Outlaws really trying to crank it up as Linkser once again gets to show us what he's capable of with a mechanical hero. Finland's Kip to Esports strikes again!
No, he has the shatter. No one would expect that. No one would expect the shatter right now.
Nobody expects the shatter from behind. There it is again. Popo down already. Babyface soon to follow, and you'll take that every time, man. Hard being brought up at the moment and flying a little bit of space. Open sleep dart!
That's all you need.
Oh boy! Now just gonna be looking for him. Armor pack coming through, but the pin is there for Marvel. They take him down. Jayhawk. There's another one. Now Rio taking a nap.
Who needs trance for Sombra when you've got sleep?
Time now is going to tick down faster and faster, but Ochi maybe extends the limit too fast. Shatter from Raw. It is big. It is just what the doctor ordered. And the Dallas Fuel need to have one on speed dial right now because they are hurt.
This one is on a razor's edge here, but the sustain up front from Paris still looking good. Gray with the switch.
Oh, Gray with the clutch. Headshot and Ivy too. God goes down.
The Dallas Fuel and Chengdu Hunters didn't get off to the best starts in Stage 3. Fuel recovered from an 0-4 loss to the Gladiators to beat Washington in their second match, but the Hunters dropped both of their matches as they experimented with more triple tank, triple support. That brings us to everyone's favorite debate segment, Attack or Defend. I'll set up the point, and you guys will either attack or defend it. You guys ready?
Yep.
Let's do this. The Hunters seemed to prefer Chichirin in week 1 when they wanted to run that triple tank, triple support. But as we can see in this limited sample size, Chichirin is not exactly an upgrade on Reinhardt over Among. And when you consider the flexibility for Among to be able to play Wrecking Ball, the point will be the Hunters should stick with Among over Chichirin. So attack or defend?
No, I'm gonna defend Chichirin here. Okay, listen, we only really seen him in 2 games so far. In the first one, he was only fielded on 1 single map, and they actually won the map.
Yeah,
it was the only one they actually
against the
won.
charge, but yeah.
And still, they won that map. Point take. Like statistically, he's not doing really worse than Eamon. Yes, Eamon has a little bit more flexibility.
But why would you ever run a main tank that hasn't had that synergy with the team and comes in and has less flexibility anyway? I mean, Eamon can still play the Ryan, plays it aggressively. You have to be throwing teams off if you're trying to.
Yeah, but it's not been working lately, has it?
It hasn't, but neither is the triple tank, triple support, and it's too
well,
late
I guess
in the
it both
season to
doesn't
start
work
with
then.
they can't just give up though, Zoe. They have to go with Eamon. That was the only thing that was working.
Yeah, no, but only because it took him by the element of surprise. They need a strong 3-3 as well.
Yeah. All right, next up, there seems to be a little doubt. Well, sorry, there is little doubt of who the top 3 teams in the league are. It's clearly Vancouver, New York Excelsior, and the San Francisco Shock. But the debate begins when you start to look at number 4. The point is, the Gladiators are the 4th best team in the league right now, as the standings say, Brent.
I'm attacking this point, honestly. I really do think right now, I've given this a lot of thought, and I think that the Hangzhou Spark are the 4th best team.
Why do you,
in the
well,
league.
okay, wait there. I'm going to attack the Gladiators as well, because I don't think they're the 4th best. I think the Shanghai Dragons are. I keep saying it. But why do you think the Spark are?
I feel like the Spark, in a head-to-head against them, against Shanghai Dragons, I think they'd have the edge, because they like to play, know how to play around Sombra. They can play a variety of different compositions.
I don't know about that. The
Spark.
Spark don't even look like... The Spark had a great run at the end of last stage, sure, but they really haven't proven themselves at all. I mean, Shanghai are the only team that even came close to scratching the San Francisco Shock last stage.
Yeah, because they were regular sprint partners, because they knew their weaknesses inside and out.
They're just a
because
really
they're playing
good team.
dishonest heroes, all right?
Dishonest heroes.
You're giving me
Don't give
reasons,
this.
but again, I can just come straight back at you with the facts.
Spark don't have the flexibility. They're not as good.
Facts on facts on facts. We know that New York played Sabiel be a ton over Mecco in week 1, so they could run Sombra. But Mecco has also flexed onto Sombra earlier in the season, and statistically, he's outshined what SBB has done recently. The point is, NYXL should keep Mecco in over Sabiel, even if they want to run Sombra. So, do you attack or do you defend that?
No, I think I'm defending that point. Yeah, I'm defending that point for sure. I wasn't sure what the question was in the end there. But I want them to stick with Mecco. Mecco is bringing more flexibility. Also, it's less obvious what they're actually doing. Because right now, if they're bringing Sabiolbi in, they know exactly that they're going to see a Sombra on the other side. So that's not really working. On top of that, also Sabiolbi Sombra hasn't been really outstandingly great. Whereas Mecco is a huge asset and very integral for this team. And it's been working out great with him.
I'm going to attack this point, but I'm going to bring back an old Monte Cristo classic and claim that the New York Excelsior are sandbagging. I feel like they're running Sabiolbi. It's stage 3, you know, it's sandbagging season, you know. I feel like at this point, you know, you've locked in the playoffs. You're ready, you know. At this point, why give away anything else? Just experiment a little bit, collect the easy wins, play Sabiolbi. You know, he's a fan favorite.
But
Get those jersey sales going, pump up those numbers. You know how it goes, marketing, baby.
All right.
All about the money.
All right, let me set up this next one because Puckett needs to defend his actions here. Look at that! Straight up attacked Zoe. And then look at this. Bren punches Frankie in the face with a microphone. Skunk.
It was a rough day, and it all happened within 7 seconds.
Bren, defend your actions.
Listen, not everyone is as talented as I am when it comes to throwing cards. Watch your face, Zoe. Sometimes they land where you want them. Sometimes they definitely land where you planned it. That one, Zoe and I had been practicing for weeks.
Okay.
It was perfect execution. Barely grazed her face.
Fault.
Left no marks.
I'm not a fault.
Toss.
I'm not a fault for the mic slapping in the face because I tried to move the mic closer because I knew she wanted to talk, but Frankie is an expert as well, so she went to move closer to the mic, and it was just an unfortunate collision, just like...
Your hug was worse than Animo's.
yeah, it was, yeah.
I defend that statement.
I love it. I love it. We are less than 10 minutes away from Houston Outlaws facing off against the San Francisco Shock. Some serious star power is about to grace the Blizzard Arena stage. We've got our predictions coming up and more next on the Watchpoint Preshow, presented by State Farm. Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League. And here is a look at the Houston Outlaws. Dante and Lynx are gearing up, ready to go. Love to see this combo back together. when Houston needs them most. On the other side of the stage, though, they're going up against a team that didn't drop a map in all of Stage 2. They're perfect so far here in Stage 3, looking for another big win against a team that only has 3 up to this point in the season. Here are our analyst predictions for day 1 of week 2. Everyone has the Shock, it looks like, and you're going Dragons over Atlanta. When it comes to Dallas versus Chengdu, everyone's got the Blue Flame. And of course, Vancouver, they haven't dropped a regular season match, so you guys all think it's going in favor of the Titans over the Spark. But let's talk about this first match. We're seeing Houston. We talked to Cool Matt backstage. He says, our morale is up. We're feeling good as a team. How do they get the win? We have 20 seconds.
Just play good for it.
Well, they starting out with a roster that has Linkser, Jake, and Dante in. So I think it's all about getting that trio of DPS working, especially Dante on the song.
That's what we want to see. Put Moon on the Orisa, all the DPS in the world. That's the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. Enjoy the games.